What's up, Suplex Rumble family? Jacob Fatu just made one of the most explosive returns in recent Smackdown history, and the Samoan werewolf brought his devastating Samaon Swat back to Friday nights in absolutely brutal fashion. If you missed this moment, you need to hear what went down because the entire WWE universe is still buzzing about it. I'm breaking down everything that happened, what it means for SmackDown's future, and where this incredible story is heading next. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Suplex Rumble, where we bring you the most in-depth wrestling analysis, breaking news, and passionate discussion about everything happening in the squared circle. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of wrestling greatness. And if you're already part of the Rumble family, drop a comment below and let me know what you thought of Fatu's return. So let's set the stage for what happened on SmackDown. The WWE Universe had been speculating for weeks about when we'd see Jacob Fatu back in action. Injuries are unfortunately part of this business we love, and when Fatu went down, it left a massive void in the SmackDown roster. But Friday night, that void was filled in the most emphatic way possible. The energy in the arena was already electric, and then we heard it. The music hit, and the crowd absolutely erupted. Jacob Fatu made his way to the ring with that signature intensity that only he brings. The Samoan werewolf nickname isn't just for show. This man moves with a combination of power and agility that defies his size. At over 250 pounds, Fatu can do things in that ring that most cruiserweights would struggle with, and that's what makes him such a special performer. But it wasn't just about the return itself. It was about the statement he was making. Fatu didn't come back to shake hands and wave to the crowd. He came back with a purpose, with fire in his eyes, and with that look that tells you someone's about to have a very bad night. The atmosphere was absolutely charged. You could feel the anticipation building because everyone knew that when Jacob Fatu returns, someone's getting hurt. And that's exactly what happened when he unleashed the Samoan Swat. Now, for those who might not be familiar with the Samoan Swat, let me paint you a picture of just how devastating this move is. This isn't your typical strike. This is a full-force, running hip attack that Fatu delivers with absolutely zero regard for his opponent's well-being. And I mean that in the best kayfabe way possible because that's what makes it so effective. Picture this: Fatu's opponent is backed into the corner, maybe trying to catch their breath, maybe already reeling from previous offense. Fatu sizes them up from across the ring, and then he charges. All 250 plus pounds of Samoan warrior comes barreling across that canvas with frightening speed, and then boom, he turns his body at the last second and drives his hip directly into his opponent's face and chest. The impact is absolutely thunderous. The sound alone makes you wince. It's one of those moves where you can feel it through the screen. The opponent crumples in the corner, and more often than not, they're done. That's how you know a move is truly effective, when it can legitimately serve as a finishing sequence. What makes the Samoan Swat so special in Fatu's arsenal is that it perfectly represents his wrestling style. It's powerful, it's aggressive, it's unexpected in its execution, and it showcases his incredible athleticism. Not many wrestlers of his size can generate that kind of speed and momentum, then have the body control to execute it with such precision. Friday night on SmackDown, we saw the Samoan Swat in all its glory. The execution was flawless, the timing was perfect, and the impact was exactly what the WWE Universe had been missing during Fatu's absence. So let's talk about the actual sequence of events and how everything unfolded. The match itself was building beautifully before Fatu's involvement. The performers in the ring were telling an excellent story, the crowd was invested, and then everything shifted into another gear when Fatu's music hit. The moment he appeared, you could see the dynamic change. His opponent's expression told the whole story. There's a moment of recognition, then a flash of concern, because everyone on that roster knows what Jacob Fatu is capable of. This is a man who has torn through competition wherever he's been, and his reputation precedes him. Fatu entered the ring with purpose. There was no hesitation, no feeling out process. He went right to work, and what we witnessed was a masterclass in intensity and aggression. Every strike had bad intentions behind it. Every movement was crisp and deliberate. This wasn't just about winning a match, this was about making a statement that the Samoan werewolf is back and he's more dangerous than ever. The build to the Samoan Swat was expertly done. Fatu had already softened up his opponent with a series of devastating strikes and power moves. The crowd was on their feet, absolutely rabid, sensing that something big was coming. And then Fatu backed up, that familiar look in his eyes, and everyone in that arena knew what was about to happen. The charge across the ring seemed to happen in slow motion and at light speed simultaneously. And when he connected with that Samoan Swat, the building absolutely exploded. The sound of the impact, the way his opponent collapsed, the roar from the crowd, it was one of those perfect wrestling moments that reminds you why we love this business. Now let's talk about the implications of this return because it's massive for SmackDown's landscape. Jacob Fatu coming back isn't just about adding another talented performer to the roster. This changes calculations for everyone from the midcard to the main event scene. First and foremost, whoever is holding championship gold on SmackDown just got a massive new problem. Fatu has always been championship material, and his return puts him right back in the conversation for title opportunities. His combination of power, speed, and intensity makes him a threat to anyone on the roster. But beyond just the championship picture, think about the potential matchups this opens up. The SmackDown roster is absolutely stacked right now with incredible talent, and Fatu's skill set matches up interestingly with so many performers. We could see striking battles, we could see power versus power showdowns, we could see David versus Goliath stories. The possibilities are genuinely endless. There's also the faction and alliance element to consider. Fatu has connections throughout the wrestling world, particularly within the Samoan dynasty that has given us so many legendary performers. How those relationships play out on SmackDown could create some of the most compelling storylines we've seen in years. What Friday night proved is that Jacob Fatu isn't just back, he's back with something to prove. There's a hunger and an edge to his performance that suggests he's not satisfied with just being on the roster. He wants to dominate, and if that Samoan Swat is any indication, he has the tools to do exactly that. The WWE Universe's reaction to this return has been absolutely incredible. Social media exploded immediately after the show. Fans who have been following Fatu's career for years were celebrating vindication, seeing him on this stage delivering at this level. New fans who maybe weren't as familiar with his work are now scrambling to learn more about the Samoan werewolf and what makes him so special. What I love about the wrestling community is how we can all come together to appreciate genuine talent and exciting moments. And this return delivered on every level. It wasn't just spectacle for spectacle's sake. It was meaningful, it was well executed, and it opens doors for compelling storytelling moving forward. Looking ahead, the questions are fascinating. Who will be Fatu's next opponent? How will management utilize someone with his unique skill set? Will we see him inserted into an ongoing storyline, or will they build something new around him? These are the questions that keep us engaged and excited to tune in every week. My prediction is that we're going to see Fatu positioned strongly right from the start. You don't bring someone back with that kind of emphatic statement unless you have big plans. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in a significant match at the next premium live event. The momentum is there, the crowd support is there, and most importantly, the talent is undeniably there. We might also see some interesting dynamics with other members of the roster who share similar backgrounds or have history with Fatu. Those personal connections can create the kind of authentic storytelling that resonates most with audiences. Wrestling is always at its best when real emotions and real relationships are woven into the narrative. So there you have it, Suplex Rumble family. Jacob Fatu returned to SmackDown and reminded everyone exactly why he's called the Samoan werewolf. That Samoan Swat was just the beginning of what promises to be an incredible run on Friday nights. The talent is there, the momentum is there, and if what we saw this week is any indication, we're in for some absolutely incredible wrestling in the weeks and months to come. I want to hear from you. What did you think of Fatu's return? Who do you want to see him face next? What storylines are you most excited to see him involved in? Drop all your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a conversation about where this goes from here.